The great thing about container shrubs is that you can plant them at any time of year. The only time to avoid really is when the ground is very frosty or when conditions are really dry, which could affect the establishment of the shrub. Choose a shrub that's going to suit the place where you're going to grow it. For example, this Hydrangea arborescens is really suited to these dappled light conditions in this particular part of the garden. And when you choose the plant itself, knock it out of the pot carefully and have a look at the roots. If they're going round and round inside the pot, then that plant's pot bound and it won't really establish very quickly into the surrounding soil. But I've chosen to put my shrub in here, and I've already taken out the planting hole. I've made sure it's nice and deep. I've overdug it slightly and then filled in with a bit of soil, and just take time to loosen the bottom of the hole a bit carefully, and then add a little bit of bone meal into the bottom of the hole. Now, bone meal is full of phosphate, and phosphate's really important to help encourage good root development. Just a trowel or half a trowel just sprinkled over the surface of the soil in there will be enough. Don't add too much because that can scorch the roots. And then again, fork that into the base of the planting hole. The next thing that you need to do is to knock the shrub from the pot and offer it up into the hole to make sure that it's at the correct depth. And this one's just ever so slightly too deep. Doesn't do any harm just to add a little bit more soil back to the bottom of that planting hole, and then offer it up again and use a cane across the top of the hole just to make sure that that's at the same level as the surrounding soil. This is about right, so I'm quite happy with that. And then the next thing to do is to give the shrub a little bit of beefy stuff to get its roots into. So I've got some well-rotted garden compost here from my compost heap, really nice stuff. I'm going to mix about half a bucketful of that into the existing soil. Doesn't need to have huge amounts. Now the jury's out really on whether it's best to improve the soil when you plant shrubs. To be honest, I always do. If it's really good rich soil, then you shouldn't need to add anything to it. But generally speaking, if it's on really impoverished sandy soil or very heavy clay, then it's always worth doing this, adding a little bit of extra garden compost. And then use the spade or the fork just to pull that soil back into the hole. Half fill the hole to start with, don't fill the hole all in one go. Half fill that with your soil and compost mixture. As I say, don't fill it right to the top just yet, and then use the heel of your foot just to compress that soil in around the base of the root ball. Now the reason that you do that is to make sure that the base of the root ball is nice and firm, and then that means that the plant won't wobble around in the hole too much. So with that all consolidated, bring the rest of your compost and soil mixture back into the hole. Doesn't matter about any big stones, they can go in as well. Fill that right up, and then again use the heel of your foot to compress the soil, compact the soil. Don't be too vigorous with it, just use the heel to use your own body weight really to firm the soil in. And if this was a bigger shrub or a bigger tree, then you could do it in more layers, perhaps 3 layers, gradually building up those layers so it was nicely evenly compressed all the way around. Then the last little bit of finishing off around the top of the shrub so that we've got the soil nice and even. And to be honest, the other thing that I like to do is just to leave a very shallow depression around the base of the shrub so that when I come to water it, it acts like a little dish just to allow the water to soak in and help the shrub get off to a really flying start.